50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure. It's just that this world is not propagating failure to you. It is propagating success to you. So our mind is looking for success, starting to believe there's only one way, there's only one direction in this life that we live, which is about moving upwards. But this world is not just about upwards. So realizing this, really understanding, it's not just about up. It's not just about taking. It's about taking and giving. It's about relaxing and doing. It's about exchange. It's about constant exchange with you, your peers, with people around you, with the world. It's about exchange, because exchange means there is a change. There's constantly happening some transformation. And this is what out there, this is what everything is built upon.
Carrying extra fat is dangerous. This is how to get rid of it.
Let go.
If you want to drop
Exchange.
this, start eating more of these.
Oh, we done. See, that wouldn't deep enough. Let's
long
get some
as your
quotes. Let's say some quotes. Wisdom quotes. Man, strike the chord enough. Strike the chord enough. All right, let's go. Let's see what they got right here.
The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists.
I think we seen this one. Hold on. Let me just go to one. Hopefully we ain't seen yet. All right, yeah. We ain't finished this.
Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off.
Yes, sir. There you go. He already on fire. He already on fire. It done buffered on me. I thought it was gonna come back after I said that last fire.
Falling apart.
All right, let's go.
They may actually be falling into place. Some people are like clouds. When they disappear, it's a beautiful day. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried.
Yes, sir. Look at him, look at him, look at him.
Only trust someone who can see these three things in you: the sorrow behind your smile, the love behind your anger, and the reason behind your silence. If your absence doesn't affect them, your presence never
matters. Hey, welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. We in the building again for the end of the week show. Let me get in front of this the right way. Let's see. It's messing with me. There you go. Hey, we back again. So we're gonna have a little fun on this Friday. I'm sitting here playing the game as usual. And we just gonna do some training. Simple as that. Train your mind, train your body, whatever training they got for us to train on, we're gonna train right here today. So rock with me. Let's get it popping. Let's go. How to train your mind. Oh my. Oh, we got to get our motivation for the day. Hold on. Let's go. Wisdom in quotes. Let's see what they got for us today. Okay. Hold on. I'll take the filter off. Alright, let's go. We ain't gonna listen to all these.
Everything at Roger starts and ends on Slack. I love huddles because the communication.
Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. Don't worry about what other people are thinking about you, because everyone is only thinking about themselves. Every second you spend comparing your life to someone else's is a second spent wasting yours.
Hey, hold on.
Don't get emotional
like this. We gotta get that motivation for the day.
You know, we just need to make a decision. I am not going to waste one more day of my life being miserable. Be happy today.
Let's go.
You know, it puts a smile on God's face when we're happy. If you have children, you know you love to see them happy. Nobody wants to see their children miserable. And God doesn't want to see us miserable. I think one of the things that we can do for him is serve him with gladness. That's what Psalm 100 says, serve the Lord with gladness. If you don't know what your purpose is yet, just start with, well, I'm going to serve the Lord with gladness. And he'll lead you into other good things.
And every morning when we wake up, we need to empty out anything negative from the day before. Somebody offended you at work. They didn't treat you right. It's easy to let that offense stay. Feels good to carry around a grudge, but you have to be disciplined. Say, no, I am not giving this offense any room. I am not going to let it sour my day. They hurt you once. Don't let them continue to hurt you by holding on to the offense. Being offended is not harming them, it's harming you. It's taking up space you need for the good things that move you toward your destiny. Or you wake up in the morning and thoughts of worry come. How are you going to pay your bills? What if the medical report's not good? You'll never get out of this problem. Don't allow that in. Right. Don't make the mistake of dwelling on it. Just say, no thanks. I know God's in control. He's got me in the palm of his hand. He'll get me to where I'm supposed to be. Sure. Take inventory of what you're giving space to. Life is too short to go through it with negative things holding us down.
Enjoy your life. The one you have right now. Not the one you hope to have sometime in the future. Not, I'm going to enjoy myself when. I'll be glad when. I'll sure be glad when. I'll be glad when this is over. I'll be glad when this starts. Well, what about being glad right now?
Need to hear it again.
Would anybody like to enjoy this day? Or do you want to just ruin this day thinking about how you're going to be happy when?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, when your child's 2, enjoy the 2-year-old. Don't sit around and wish they were 3. I'll be glad when the kids start to school. I'll be glad when school's out. I'm tired of driving those kids to school every day. I'll be glad when these kids get through college. I'm tired of paying those bills. I'll be glad when. I'll be glad. I'll be glad. I'll be glad. Well, each one of those things that you're going to be glad about later is something that you're missing. That, trust me, later when you're older, you're going to think, I wish I would have taken time to have enjoyed my family more. I wish I would have taken time to enjoy my home more.
We need to hear this again. That's why we listening to it.
You have a choice each day you live regarding the attitude you choose. The longer I live, the more I realize the importance of choosing the right attitude in life. It is more important than your past, more important than your education or your financial situation. It's more important than your circumstances, your successes or your failures. More important than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than your appearance, your giftedness, or your skills. It will make or break a company. It will make the difference between a happy home or a miserable home. You cannot change the years that have passed. You cannot change the daily tick of the clock. You cannot change the decisions or reactions of other people. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. The same is true for you.
Your attitude is something that belongs to you, and nobody, I want you to get this, nobody can make you have a bad one if you don't want to. You have to make a decision, set your mind that today I'm going to have a good attitude no matter what. And you know, I don't just tell you to do these things, I do them. I spend time each morning with the Lord when I get up because I know if I don't, I am not going to act good that day. And to be honest, most of us are like that. We need, just like you need food to keep your body running right, you need spiritual food, which is the Word of God and time with Him to behave spiritually correctly. I don't want to do anything that offends the Holy Spirit. I want to love people like Jesus told us to, and I can't do it without a lot of help from God. And so I pray every morning that God will help me, that He will strengthen me. I want to enjoy the day. I want to appreciate the things that God has given me. So I specifically set my mind, today is the day the Lord has made. He's given me another day to live, and I want to enjoy this day and have a good attitude. Help me treat people good that I'm with and make them feel good, and just whatever comes to my mind. So the main thing I want to get across is that you have to set your attitude and determine that you're going to have a good one in order for that to happen. And your day today can be changed by you making a small adjustment. Your week can change by you making just a small adjustment and deciding, just decide right now to think about everything you do have instead of what you don't have. Think about your blessings, and nobody is without blessings. There is nobody watching right now that doesn't have something to be thankful for. Yes, we all have problems, we all have challenges in life, and maybe right now you're going through a very challenging time. Pray about those times, do what you can do, but focus on the things in your life that are good and find things to be thankful for. And you can even be thankful for little things like clean running water in your house, a home to live in, clothes to put on, somebody to say good morning to. Just anything that is a blessing, the more you think about that, the more it's going to help and affect your attitude. You know what? It's perfectly okay for you to be happy and enjoy your life while God deals with your problems. You know, I don't want anybody to think that you have to be miserable because you have a problem. pray about the situation and then turn it over to God. You know, praying about things and then worrying doesn't really do any good. We need to pray about them, cast the care on God. So one of the things that I say when I have a problem that helps me, and I usually say it out loud and sometimes several times a day, this is not going to last forever. And I also like to say, this is going to end well. I don't know how it's going to end, but I know it's going to end well. Listen, whenever you're upset and you're having trouble, don't let the trouble pull you away from God. Let it push you closer to God. Spend more time with Him. Cry out to Him. Seek His advice. Maybe you've had a lot of bad things happen to you in your life. Maybe you would be a person that says, well, I'm just not lucky. Well, I don't think that when we're dealing with God, it's good luck or bad luck. It's faith or no faith. It's trusting God. It's believing the promises in the Word. And I'll tell you, if you never give up on God, He will never give up on you. You may have some things that you're working through and it may be taking longer than you hoped it would, but just don't give up.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that wasn't bad to listen to again, even though we had heard that one before. All right, let's go. Let's get some good training. Let's see. To be consistent. All right, let's work.
Excuse me, sir, would you like to earn income while you learn how to code?
Yeah, dog. Tell me more about that.
DevSlopes helps.
I struggled with discipline for the majority of my life. I couldn't wake up early unless I absolutely had to because of work. I couldn't get myself to do things I knew were good for me, such as meditating and going on walks every day. I couldn't get a no-fap streak past like 3 days, and I could not stop wasting hours of my day on YouTube and social media. And keep in mind, this was during a period of my life where I was aware that I needed to change. I wanted to change. I wanted to improve myself. So the longer this went on, the more and more I struggled to be disciplined on these things, the lower and lower my self-trust became, which that alone wreaked havoc on my mental health. I mean, I thought that I wanted to do these things and yet I just couldn't do it. And the thing about discipline is, without it, you stay exactly where you are.
Yes, sir.
Just continuing to struggle with the things you're struggling with in this endless downward spiral. And because of this, you will never reach consistency with the efforts you're trying to make, and therefore that life that you wish to have, that the discipline is the vessel to get to, will just remain nothing more than fiction. But it doesn't make sense, right? We have all these super disciplined alpha male gurus telling us that we just need to be more disciplined, and we look at their lives and they accomplish many of the things we wish to accomplish, and they credit it all to their supreme level of discipline. And I, like many people watching this video, didn't know that these discipline gurus, these role models, these motivational speakers were actually making the situation worse for us, because we're constantly consuming this content that tells us, well, you just don't want it bad enough, you're not working hard enough, you just need to be more disciplined, bro. While simultaneously they're flashing their lifestyle, their success, their money, their relationships, and telling us that if you were disciplined like me, you would have this too. And what this does is all the guys that are consuming this content and that are trying to be disciplined and failing, it just increases their sense of hopelessness. It lowers their self-image, which, and I'll get into this more later, but it is actually further programming their mind to be less disciplined. Well, what if I told you that these businessmen, these athletes that got there, didn't actually get there through sheer brute force willpower? Well, that is the case, because that would be impossible, because willpower is a limited resource. Imagine you're in a room and you are overwhelmed by this smell of the most delicious chocolate chip cookies you have ever smelled in your entire life. The sweet, savory aroma fills the air, and you look across the room and see all of those cookies there. Not only cookies, but all other kinds of delicious chocolate treats. But instead of being able to walk over and eat them, you have to sit and eat a fucking radish. Well, there was actually a study that did exactly this. They threw a bunch of participants in this very room, and while some of them were perfectly allowed to go and eat whatever they want, they didn't have any instructions, others were instructed to sit in there and just eat the radish and resist the temptation and the smells and the yumminess of the chalky chip cookie over there. And after this happened, all participants were taken into another room where they had to work on this seemingly unrelated puzzle. A puzzle that required persistence, aka willpower. And what they found is that those who had to sit in that room and eat the radish while resisting all the treats gave up way
that's right. Yes, sir.
earlier than the people who were allowed to eat whatever they want and then just came and worked on the puzzle. Because the radish people already used up so much of their mental energy, their willpower, trying to resist the cookies. Therefore, they couldn't last very long with the puzzle. So right off the bat with this information, the first thing we can do is just start to be more greedy with your mental energy, with your willpower, with your decision making. This is why so many millionaire entrepreneurs wear the exact same clothes and eat the exact same foods every day on mental energy. Energy, with your willpower, with your decision making. This is why so many millionaire entrepreneurs wear the exact same clothes and eat the exact same foods every single day, because that's one less thing to try to think about or use up mental energy on. But while that's a great place to start, it's not enough. So as we now know, if all of those successful people actually just relied on willpower to get where they are, it would have ran out, just like it does for the rest of us. But if willpower isn't the answer, then what actually makes the disciplined is because the real reason they have this seemingly effortless discipline is because their minds are programmed to do so. And when something is part of your subconscious programming, your mind's programming, it becomes the default. Therefore, willpower isn't actually always required from them because they aren't actively resisting anything, compared to you, which has to actively resist your current programming to do the disciplines you wish to do. But imagine if something like working out or being productive felt as effortless as tying your shoe, for example, combined with most of those urges you get to do the bad habits, to do the bad things, disappearing. Because most of these urges are just surfacing into your consciousness from the subconscious programming. And finally, since most of the discipline is coming effortlessly, you now have a much higher reserve of willpower that you can tap into if something comes along your way that you actually have to use willpower on. So what if this bottleneck of discipline was removed from your life? Would there be anything else really standing in the way besides time from you and your goals? Or would it just be a seemingly effortless progression to what you want out of life? This is the level that the elite, high-performing men are on. Same with the gurus that preach discipline. They just don't understand that the reason they're so disciplined is because of this mental programming. Therefore, they think preaching, just be disciplined, bro, is more than enough advice for you. But after you watch this video, you're not gonna have to listen to them anymore. You're not gonna have to deal with all that shitty advice because you'll know how to actually reprogram your mind to be disciplined. So the first reason why you haven't been able to be as disciplined as you'd like to be is because
what about the negative side that we should look out for, or the red flags when we're dating someone? What would you suggest to look out for?
Your reasons suck. And I know what you're thinking. No, I do have good reasons to be disciplined. I do have a strong why to do all this. That is exactly what I thought too when I was sleeping in and playing with my wiener and watching YouTube all day. Because one thing our egos are very good at is convincing us the reasons we have to do the things we do are perfectly valid and good enough. But in reality, that's not the case. If it was the case, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. So we need to understand that our brains will find the quickest path to the outcome it desires. So if your reasonings for doing the things you do is, for example, well, I want to be successful so I can have time freedom, so I can do the things I want to do, which is hang out and play video games, or be successful so I can attract beautiful women and have sex with them, your brain's gonna go, well, you can play Fortnite and watch porn right now. And you trying to resist doing those things is using up that willpower reserve. This is why a lot of guys have to just keep watching those same motivational videos over and over and over because they don't have good enough whys within them, so they need to hear something blasting why they should do something and be disciplined and work hard into their consciousness just in order to be disciplined for little bursts here and there. And the best way to detach and combat these urges when they appear is by building the skill of mindfulness. And the best way to do this is through meditation. I have a free 5-day guided meditation series in the description below you can check out after this video. So in order to actually rewire your mind to be disciplined on these disciplines you wish to do, you need to alter your reasonings. Now, there's two types of reasonings. There's two types of why. You can have what you're working towards and also what you're running away from. Right now, let's start with what you're running away from, because often it's more powerful. The mouse that's running away from a cat that wants to eat it is gonna run faster than a mouse just running to some cheese. So in order to develop this anti-reasoning, you need to figure out what happens if I don't get disciplined? What happened if I don't do these things? What happens if I don't change? And not just a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years from now. If you do not change, what does your life look like? Spoiler alert, it does not.
Hey, that's actually a great way to start. I'm gonna take that advice on that. And the only reason I say that is because if I look at what I'm trying to get to, I'm still going to see what I have to go through. So let's look at what I'm going away from to propel me to what I want to go to. I like that.
Not remain the same. It is going to get worse and worse and worse over time. And then you have to take that and ask yourself, well, why is that bad? And you have to think about all the mental suffering, the lack of fulfillment, the shit excuse of a life you're going to be in, and generate those negative emotions. That creates the cat that you're going to run away from. And then you need to figure out what you're moving towards. What are your goals in life? And whatever they are, I promise you, they're not good enough. Why do you want that goal? Why is that? Take your goal and ask yourself why at least 5 times in order to get to a core goal, like something that is what truly drives you. And you may not even know what that is right now, and it may surprise you to discover that. For example, I was in a call with one of my mental mastery students, and he was telling me how he was struggling to wake up early in the morning. He always would get up, hit snooze, and go back to bed. And at first he was trying to ask me if there's any sleep tactics or any hacks to, once you wake up, stay up and go about your day. But I asked him, why do you want to wake up early? And his answer was super generic. Well, it's productive. I'll have more time in the day. And then I asked him, why do you need more time in the day? Why do you need to be more productive? And he couldn't give me a reason. So it's like, no shit, you don't have the discipline to wake up early. You have no actual reasoning to be up early, compared to how I developed my discipline to wake up early. And it was because I need more time in the day to be productive and to get work done, because I need to reach a certain level of financial freedom and success, because I want to retire my mother. And I want to be an amazing role model for my baby brothers as they're growing up. And I need
look at my man's working. Work. Heal.
The money that success will bring, because I want to achieve the best human experience I possibly can. And the other side of that is, if I don't, I will feel like I have wasted my life, and it will send me into a depression, and I will just, every time I see my mom continuing to work, unretired, continuing to struggle to pay bills, my baby brothers don't have a role model to grow up and watch, it would cause me so much immense depression and suffering. You see why it's so easy for me to get up early? Because I need to. There is no negotiating my way out of it. So do this as an exercise. Go on a piece of paper, a document, a journal, and write these things out. And I promise you, whatever your reasons are at first, they are not good enough. Over time, keep prying and prying and prying until you can get to the source of why you want to do something. Get that crystal clear future vision of the life you want for yourself and those you care about, and get a crystal clear vision of the life that you are fucking terrified of ending up in. And what's going to happen is, over time, as you dwell on these things, as you read these things over, as you visualize these things, you are going to begin to program that subconscious part of your mind to work towards that. And when you're able to gain the clarity on why waking up early, working a couple extra hours a day, eating healthy, going to the gym, quitting pornography, quitting video games, quitting drugs is required to get to that future you want, they are the vessels that will carry you there. Your brain's going to realize that and be like, okay, this is what we do now. We need to do this. And that is going to become your default. And once you start doing this and you're doing all these disciplines you want to do, it is going to enter the second phase, which is shifting your identity. There was a study done in 2011 that tracked 205 people for a week. They all had these BlackBerries that would constantly ping up and ask them questions throughout their day regarding discipline and motivation and willpower. And this research found a huge paradox in human psychology.
What separates great thinkers and the okay thinkers isn't talent. It's what they do with their time. And the greatest thinkers humanity has ever.
All of the people who would answer these surveys and say things like, I'm very disciplined, I have a lot of self-control, had fewer instances throughout their day-to-day life in that week where they had to be disciplined, where they had to resist temptation. Compared to the people who didn't see themselves as very disciplined, who didn't see themselves as in control, they reported way more instances of having to resist temptations and use willpower and try to be disciplined, which means the people who believe that they are super self-controlled and have strong willpower didn't have to use as much self-control and willpower. Therefore, people who have an identity of a disciplined person actually use less willpower than other people. And this is because, as we know, their unconscious default is to just be disciplined. So what you need to do as you begin getting rid of these bad habits and doing the disciplined things is view yourself already as a disciplined person and let every single disciplined action you take further justify that identity to yourself. Plus, our brains love doing things that reinforce our previously held beliefs. It actually releases dopamine from doing so. This is why people are addicted to consuming content online that's about their political beliefs. What I didn't mention earlier is when I was going through that period of having absolutely no discipline to do these things, I still went to the gym and worked out almost every single day. It did not take an ounce of discipline from me to do so because going to the gym was just part of my identity. It was just something I did, and there was no rationalization, there was no resistance to get there. It was just effortless. So in your day-to-day life, whenever you feel lost, just zoom out to your reasons. Gain the clarity on why these disciplines are the vessel to where you need to be. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause you to do every single disciplined thing and not do every single bad habit with intense levels of intention, because you are doing the things that you know you need to do to get the life you want and avoid the life you'd hate. Plus, it is going to be easy to remain consistent in this because it is who you are. If discipline is the biggest thing you're struggling with right now and you would like to know my exact protocol to unlock that effortless discipline, that authentic confidence, that elite level of focus every single day through my exact mental reprogramming protocols, exactly how to transform your identity, exactly how to reprogram the subconscious, consider checking out Mental Mastery in the description below. But even when you
check it out, check out Mental Mastery. All right. How to train your style. Let's see. This should be good.
Grammarly doesn't just help you with polishing your emails, it also lessens the mental load of replying to emails. When you
ChatGPT's way overhyped. It could never match my level of writing. And that's what many ChatGPT beginners are convinced of. But I'm here to tell you that it can absolutely match the level of your writing. For most people, and if you're a proficient writer, it can match the level of your drafting. Because most people that get those mediocre results provide ChatGPT with unclear instructions with a limited amount of context. And that gets you poor results. But no worries, today I'll show you the ultimate prompt on how to apply your very own style to your ChatGPT outputs. Because over the last few months, I went through 10 iterations of this prompt, and I'm about to show you the one that I return to every time now. But in order for you to actually understand what's going on here, we need to take a step back and first do a quick recap on how to stylize your text inside of ChatGPT. So as you might be familiar, from me teaching prompt engineering, I always start with instructions and context. And the only thing that differs when we stylize the text is the addition of the style to the end. So yet again, here nothing changes. As per usual, every prompt is made up of instructions and context. But here in this case, we want to add style. And yes, style could be considered a subset of context, but in order for you to get the most out of this prompt, we need to take a quick look at the basics of prompt engineering when it comes to applying style. So in practice, this would look something like: write me an email as my instructions, to my boss as the context, and then I'll say in the style of Harley Davidson. Okay, now I'll remove the brackets and we have a simple yet very effective prompt that writes your email to your boss in a style of Harley Davidson. Now at this point you might be surprised that I use Harley Davidson because usually people say in the style of William Shakespeare or in a formal style. But one fun fact is that you can actually use these brand names. And you might already know that in my free Notion template I provide a bunch of these styles, but this is my tip to you. Use brand names and what you're gonna achieve by using brand names, and this ties into how to customize it to your very own style, which we'll talk about any second here. But what you achieve by saying Harley Davidson is really a large subset of keywords that is hidden inside of that. Harley Davidson, if you're not familiar, it's an American motorcycle brand that represents freedom, individualism, amongst many other American values. And that is important to keep in mind because looking at the prompt that adjusts it to your very own style, you should really realize how wide a single word like Harley Davidson can really be and how many values that can represent. Okay, now let's get to the main part of this video, the prompt that adjusts any writing to your very own style. So how do we do this? Well, we say write a type of text about topic for target audience. Okay, so as per usual, the words in square brackets you want to change up to fit your very own needs. And then we continue by saying in the style of the provided example, capturing its tone, voice, vocabulary, and sentence structure. And then we round it out by saying example, colon, and here you insert your very own example. Okay, so as you can see, this is the extended form of the previous prompt. And let's just try filling it out so we can get a practical result here. So we'll say write an email about the bad coffee at the office for my boss in the style of the provided example, capturing its tone, voice, vocabulary, and sentence structure. Example, now we're gonna insert a piece of my writing. And what I'll do here is copy paste a part of my welcome email sequence when you sign up to my newsletter. And this is essentially a part of my life story that explains the importance of adapting to your environment. But in this case, I just want to write me this email in my very own style. And now let's have a look at the output here. And look at that, it perfectly mimics the style of my handwritten email. And not just that, it also copied the structure of the email, as you can see. Look at that. At the age of 30, I have never tasted such a disaster in a cup. It's tragic. Here, at the age of 24, I still hadn't spent more than 3 years living in one place. It was rough. It's perfect. And it did that because we included this part. We said sentence structure. So if you want, you can always remove this. But I always start with this prompt as it replicates the text one-to-one, which is usually what I need. So yeah, these are the basics, but there's a second prompt. So watch out for this one. And this one is even better because it actually shows you the style so you can learn from it and reapply it in different ways. Let me show you. It goes like this. Analyze an example text for tone, voice, vocabulary, and sentence structure. Apply the identified elements to all your future outputs. And there's nothing to modify here. If I just copy paste the example below, it will do what I asked of it. And I like the analysis inside of GPT-4 more because it structures it nicely, but all of these work equally as well in GPT 3.5 and 4. So feel free to copy paste them from the description below as per usual. And as you can see right here, it generated the analysis of my text. So the tone of the text is conversational, informal, and reflective. The voice is personal and engaging as the author speaks directly to the reader. The vocabulary used is simple and accessible without any technical jargon or overly complex terms. But I think you can actually see this is a description of my style that I use for my YouTube too. Because for example, the sentence structure is varied with a mix of short and longer sentences as long as sentence fragments, right? That's kind of how I actually talk. And now that we have the analysis, we could run a completely different prompt and it will apply that text because if you remember, we asked to apply the identified elements to all your future outputs. So a future output would be the answer to our next prompt.
Right.
Write me an email about the bad coffee in our office to my boss. And now this completely unrelated request will be generated in the style of me. As that's what we analyzed above with the very first prompt. And this 2-prompt sequence, it's so darn powerful because now you can write anything in your very own text. Look at that, it's friendly and engaging with simple language, very casual, conversational, and it talks from my perspective. But for all this to work appropriately, you need to consider one tip that I'll leave you with here. And that is that the example that you use has to be a good representation of your style because that's what all of this is built upon. If it's going to be some generic reply that doesn't contain your actual writing style, how is it supposed to be reflected? There's no way for ChatGPT to reflect it correctly, so make sure it's a high quality one. And a final tip would be use the same type of writing. So if you're trying to write emails, ideally use another email of yours. Now this is not a requirement, but you will get the best results. If you're looking to write an essay, use an essay that you wrote before, not an email, as the style there simply varies and you want to make your input as precise as possible, right? So at the end of the day, this prompt is a fantastic addition to your tool belt. And by having access to this now, you can push yourself and AI to do more and hopefully make you the best writer you can be. Now, if you enjoyed this video, these are the very basics of prompt engineering that we cover.
I really like looking at little stuff like the AI videos because it just show you what's going on when you see this stuff, and you can create stuff in the blink of an eye, just like you would if you were sitting around thinking in your mind, I hope. All right, let's go. How you find your style without spending money? Let's go, girl. Talk to me, baby.
Great ideas can come from anywhere. With Wix, you decide where they go. Put your ideas into play with AI and watch them shape every aspect of your website. Explore as many layouts and design.
Let's talk about style and how you can find yours. From a young age, you're told by everyone and everything what fashion should look like, from Disney Channel transformations to the latest TikTok trend. And probably at some point you felt like everything you wear is just wrong. We've all been there, but get ready for your fashion puberty because this video is going to change the way you think about your style. I have had my own fashion journey, from looking like a Disney Channel star to a wannabe influencer to an actual man-child. I have definitely followed my fair share of trends and styles. But honestly, during this time, I was just following what other people were doing. You know, like our Lord Savior Katie once said, I just felt like a plastic bag drifting through the metaphorical fashion wind and wanted to start again. That's because I never actually found my style. The way I like to think about it is that your style is constant. It's like your fashion reputation, what you're known for, what you wear on a day-to-day basis. Trends can amplify your style, but it's not an actual style. Hurry up! Sorry! Now we got all that out of the way, the first step to the fashion glow up is knowing what your dream aesthetic is. A lot of times people just have a general idea of what they want, but they can't verbalize it or point out why they like it. That's where the mood board comes in. Yes, it's tedious, but you feel like you're in 4th grade art class again. And it's actually really helpful to organize your inspiration and just lay it out all in front of you. For this mood board, collect everything from your dream clothing, accessories, hair, makeup, bags, shoes, like literally everything that makes up a physical appearance of someone, and dump it on a piece of paper. You can do this digitally or make an activity out of it and scrapbook it. I decided to do it just on my iPad. I spent some time on Pinterest just gathering inspiration and used Procreate to organize all my pictures, and a little bit later, this is what I made. Mine is obviously not that neat or aesthetic, but you can make yours as detailed as you want. The next step is to point out what exactly you like about the inspiration you chose. Do you like this picture because of the blazer? Or you really like the way she styled the socks? Or maybe you like the statement coat? Make a list of everything you like about the style. It's important to know the specifics of a style rather than just like an overall vibe. That way you know what exact aspects you like about the style and how you can improve your wardrobe. Now it's time to analyze your current closet. If you're struggling to figure out what you like or don't like, I suggest looking at these 5 closet essentials. Everyone has them, they're small but mighty. I like to call them the Avengers of clothing. First up, we have jeans, aka Captain America. You know, they're trustworthy, reliable, and they get shit done. Ask yourself, do you like low-waisted or high-waisted jeans? Dark wash or light wash? By narrowing down your preferences, you're also able to find your style. Or maybe you don't like jeans at all and you just want to wear trousers. Iron Man is your t-shirt, you know, style. Or maybe you don't like jeans at all and you just want to wear trousers. Iron Man is your t-shirt, you know, giving off genius playboy type of vibes. But do you like your t-shirts to be minimalist or patterned? Colored or black and white? Maybe you're a fan of crop tops and really like showing your stomach. Or you're just on the more conservative side and want to be covered. If t-shirts are too boring, try out collars. Everything from a collared shirt to a turtleneck should do the trick. Jackets are like Thor. You know you can have a bit of fun with outerwear. What's important to know about outerwear is if you prefer fashion or function. Like if it's 20 degrees outside, are you gonna be wearing a puffer jacket or a blazer?
I prefer function over fashion every single time. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna finish it. All right, there we go.
Blazer in the name of fashion. Also, I think that jackets are especially important if you're living in colder places because that's basically what everyone else is going to see, so that really determines what your aesthetic and style is. Now for shoes. Do you like heels or sneakers? If you like sneakers, are you more of a streetwear person with like Nike Dunks or an Aritzia hoe with New Balance 550s? I feel like you can really play around with different silhouettes of shoes and customize it to your style. Lastly are accessories, which is analogous to Hawkeye because let's be honest, he's basically just an accessory to the team. You like bulky or dainty jewelry. Some people use accessories to complete their looks, while others use it to just amplify it. Okay, I basically just created a BuzzFeed quiz for you guys, but the point is just evaluate what your preferences are in terms of clothing and comfort, and this will really help you decide what your style is and just what your priorities are. After you decide on a new style, it's time to utilize your current wardrobe. This is where most people go wrong. Usually when you finally decide on a new style, you just want to throw everything out and start over. Okay, yeah, it's fun to purge every once in a while, but there's really no need to every time you want to experiment with a new style. Usually you already have 90% of what you need. So my first tip is to get a clothing rack. It will be the best investment of your life, but getting a clothing rack is so important because your closet is probably a mess. And when you look at it, it just doesn't spark joy. For me, it sparks stress and contemplation on why my life is such a mess.
Let's see if my Stitch Fix box matches my style file. My stylist tells me that I'm a rustic.
So you're going to analyze the list you made and try to find pieces you already own. Then you're going to take those pieces and hang it on the clothing rack. In a way, your clothing rack is like your physical mood board. When you actually pick out your pieces, you can see if the colors go well together, what you're missing, and things can improve. Your clothing rack should make you excited and happy. My rack here is just a simplified version because I only have the clothes with me that I brought home, but you can still see that I have a lot of things on my list like colorful sweaters, button downs, jeans, and blazers. My next tip is to modify outfits from your inspiration to fit you. Even if you don't necessarily have all the pieces to an outfit you really like, you can still recreate the essence with what you already have. For example, I really like this outfit, but I don't have any of the pieces, but what I like about it is the all black vibe and how she styled the tall boots with a skirt. So what I do have in my closet is a leather jacket, a white tee, a black skirt, and some boots. These items aren't exactly what she's wearing, but the style is pretty similar. This way you can wear your new style without necessarily buying all the pieces. Another way I modify this outfit is with a gray blazer set that I already owned. I have a crop blazer that is similar to the one in the picture, so I just threw that on with the matching skirt, and even though it's different colors, it definitely gives me the same vibe, and I really like it.
I don't like that one.
Another tip I have is to turn styling outfits into a game. If you get bored of your wardrobe, what I like to do is set themes or challenges for myself. For example, you can try to dress more preppy one day, or dress like a character from a TV show. By giving yourself a prompt for the day, it will force you to be more creative, and you can have some guidelines rather than being overwhelmed with endless options. For example, one day my friends and I decided to have a preppy shoot, so we all dressed in preppy outfits. This is the outfit I came up with, and it's not what I usually would wear, but I actually really loved it. It was really fun pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and just playing dress up. The last tip I have in this section is to pay attention to other factors besides clothes, like makeup, hair, jewelry, and even scent. I feel like these things may seem really small, but they actually play a big part in changing your style. By revamping these small things, it can make you feel like a new person. Like if you're going for a girly aesthetic, try a sweeter scent. When I get a new perfume, I honestly just feel like rebirthed. Another example is establishing your daily jewelry. I started constantly wearing necklaces because a simple gold chain just makes me feel put together, and I only ever wear my two necklaces, a gold chain and my Vivienne Westwood necklace. This has become like my signature stack, and since it's always on me, it has definitely become part of my style identity and just upgrades my overall look. Basically, my point is that there's a lot of different little things you can do to improve your style with things you already have. So I thought I could end this video off with a little chat with what we would like to call confidence. I know we talk about confidence so much these days, but I truly think it's the most important thing, even more than buying a clothing rack, to finding your own style. Because if you don't have confidence, you're never going to be able to find your own style, because you're never going to feel good in what you're wearing and never going to feel true to yourself. So I have made so many videos already on how to find your confidence and why confidence is so important, so I'm not going to ramble your ear off this time, but I kind of just want to talk about the mental barrier into finding your own style and fitting in, because when you're experimenting with different aesthetics and things, it can really hurt when people say oh, who are you trying to impress, or why are you so dressed up today? And it's like, bitch, I just wanted to dress up today, okay? Don't question me. And I know getting those questions can feel at times even awkward, or just you just feel ashamed, oh, I shouldn't be trying this hard or whatever. But honestly, the only thing I can say is screw the haters. You're gonna do what you want, you're gonna look amazing doing it, and I think you just have to internalize that you are doing this for yourself, and that is the most important thing. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. So I don't know, I thought I would like just share a little tidbit today while I end this video. This video is definitely like a new format that I'm experimenting with, so please let me know if you guys enjoy it. Any comments, suggestions that you guys have in the comments below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, but I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. I'm
gonna put you on a I'm gonna just give you a like and we're gonna go back. Okay. How to train your dog. Okay.
Everything at Roger starts and ends on Slack. I love huddles because they communicate.
Let's go.
This one's particularly interesting though, because we have tons of big hyper dogs. Now, as you know, I love working with hyper dogs, but trying to convey to people that a hyper dog is a smart dog is sometimes challenging. That's my goal in this class. She looks like a boxer pit mix. Is that what we're thinking?
That's what they said.
We're gonna teach our dogs how to look at us by using a hand signal. Dogs are heavily responsive to exaggerated body language. So in the beginning, it might look something like, look at me, like this, really, really exaggerated. We have a nice tight training bubble, close eye to eye. Now, I don't know Biscuit too well, and if you were me, you'd be a little cautious about going eye to eye with a dog like this that you didn't know. Is he good with strangers coming into his area? He is, okay, very good. Look at me. Yes, very good, nice work. Right here, eye to eye. I'm gonna hold up the treat, look at me, and since I like what he's doing, I'm gonna click because I like that. Remember, the click means good dog, I like what you did, you win a prize. Look at me. And I'm taking my time getting him the treat. As long as you mark that behavior with the clicker to let them know you like it, or a yes if you're not using the clicker, then you can take your time getting the treat to him. The click marks the behavior, not the treat. The most frustrating thing when working with a hyper dog is that they're so quick. It is on us to speed up to keep up with them. We've got to be able to nail the behavior with the clicker the instant they do it right. So in Panda's case, look at me right there. I mean, as I was saying it, I had eye contact. Right here, look at me, very engaging. You got to keep the rhythm up, you got to keep the pace. You're going to have to make sure the moment he does something right, you're there. He's a fast-paced train, a dog like this. So you can't be too slow. Within the next 5 minutes, every dog in here should be able to leave Turkey alone when we put it in front of them. We're gonna show them how to do it without force, without pulling them away in any way. I'm gonna drop it on the ground. However, what's she gonna do when I drop it on the ground? She's gonna go for it. Show me a nice loose leash here, no tension. So I'm gonna drop it, but I'm not gonna let her get it. When she looks away, same concept, I'm gonna click her, and I'm gonna pick up the treat, and I'm gonna give it to her. Don't touch this. It's not so much the words that you're saying. I think the biggest mistake we make when we're teaching a dog something new is we say words at them, but there's very little heartfelt communication. Even though she may not know what "don't touch that" means right now, she feels my energy, she knows what I'm going for, and we've worked a little bit to build some initial communication. Don't touch this, please. I'm not gonna make her wait for an eternity. Right there, I'm gonna pick it up and give it to her.
Don't touch this.
And then if she, okay, and no tension on the leash. Only because I know that's the instinct to pull them away. You should have faith in your communication. You should trust that your dog really will know what you mean if you just take a few minutes to communicate with them. Lure training is a concept of training where we use a treat.
This is good. This my people right here. You're gonna get a good lesson after this today, man.
To coax our dog into a specific position. So we're gonna use that nose to our advantage right here. So just like this, good. And we're gonna say sit as his butt hits the ground. Now he already knows sit. Does he know how to lie down on command? Somewhat, but not really. So we're gonna use the same concept of training here. We're gonna lure him down. A big mistake that a lot of people make with, oh wow, that's, he's making me look good here. A big mistake that a lot of people make with this though, is they do this. And, oh wow, well, all right. Normally they go fast is what they do. What you should do is you should let them nibble on it nice and slow. Now if they didn't lie down, all right, he's too good. I need a dog that's not listening quite that well. Yep. Why am I clicking Delilah right there? She did not lie down, but I clicked anyway. She's on the right track. Look, she's trying. It's vital that when our dogs are on the right track, when we're teaching them something new, that we really let them know we like that. Yes, right there. That foot came forward. I'm gonna let her know I like it. That's one more step in the right direction. Yes. Oh, good. I'm gonna reward that because that was very good. You see how both of those feet started to move, started to go into the down. Notice the training bubble, nice and low here, nice and tight. You see this? So with a new dog, again, this provides you're very comfortable with your dog and we're comfortable with her, so we're okay with doing it. The next step is one of those feet is gonna move forward. At that moment, be ready to click. Do you know what I'm saying? Really good, and good. I love the kisses, I love the affection there. It's very genuine, it's very real energy. The more real you are, the faster your dog learns. Now we got our attention. You never know when you're gonna get it, but now that we have it, yes, very good. We wanna seize that momentum right there. You see what I'm saying? Momentum is a big deal. We don't hear a lot about that in dog training because a moment ago, she was like, I don't feel like it, but now, all of a sudden, as those moments go longer and longer, that's the beginning. That's a sign that you're on the right track. I got lucky with a group of people here that seem to really get their dogs, and you're very engaging with them. Be engaging with your dogs, and it's such an impossible thing to really teach. It has to come from within, but the more sincere you are with your dog, the more likely they are to respond to you. This is one of my new favorite classes, really, and I love all of my classes. Mwah, I promise, I do. But it seems like these guys really got it. I saw very little frustration. Do you prefer working with a high energy dog or kind of more of a chill, low-key dog? I mean, everyone's different. I personally like energetic dogs to work with, but that's me. Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you are subscribed and make sure you click thumbs up if you like this video and you want more videos like this, and like me on Facebook, facebook.com/TheZachGeorge. Okay, love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
That's my man's. Let's see if they got any more. This will be our last one.
Touch.
Treat.
Good boy. All right, that's enough for the day.
Wait. I think it's time you get me pet insurance. Based on my extensive research, Lemonade Pet Insurance can save you up to 90% on vet bills. That could really help us both in an emergency. You know how much I like to snack on some street food while I walk. It's bad for my health, but you can't beat those unique flavor combinations.
Who programmed these?
Right.
Go to lemonade.com/pet and check it out. You can customize your policy to suit your budget and my needs. Do it now.
Wow, okay. It's pretty nice.
Walk.
Not right now.
Walk. 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 Treat. Hungry. Walk. Bathroom. Treat. Walk. Walk. Hungry. I need to pee.
So who put...
What are the things that you should be doing every single day with your dog to guarantee success, to have the dream life with your dream canine companion?
I'm Will Atherton. I'm a canine behaviourist, and my goal is to keep all dogs out of shelters and off the euthanasia table. This dog has been abused and neglected and has a wide variety of behaviour problems because of it. I'm going to foster him for 7 days and show you exactly what can be achieved with loving leadership.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Will Atherton. This is my mate here. He's a rescue dog. But in this video, I want to talk about the things that I've been doing every single day with my mate here that you should be doing every single day with your dog as well. So the first thing that you must get your head around is the importance of threshold manners. And by thresholds, what we mean is any entrance or exit that takes your dog from one environment through to the next. That could be their crate, out of their crate. It could be the room into the crate. It could be every single doorway in your house, in particular the ones that take them to the outside. It could be gates while you're out on your walk. Anything that is an entrance or an exit that takes your dog from one area to the next, you should be managing with what we call threshold management. What that should look like is that when you come to a threshold, your dog is happy to ideally sit, stay and wait, or at least come to a stop, look up to you for guidance and direction, and you go through that threshold first, welcoming them with you in a calm, relaxed state of mind. If you just do that, you will be setting yourself up for huge amounts of success that you wouldn't believe were fathomable from something that you might think is unimportant or trivial. But from the thousands of people and dogs that I've helped, I guarantee that this this is one of the things that will make the biggest impact for you and your dog's life. Manage their environment, manage the threshold between environments, and do so from a place of calm, consistent leadership. The next thing I want to talk about is my food drill. Now, when you get a new dog come into your home, there's a couple of ways you can approach it. The way I'm approaching it with my mate here is that all of his food, every single drop of his food for the day, goes into his treat pouch in the morning. Now, I use this food throughout the day for all of his training sessions, and anytime he's simply doing something that I like right now. He's sitting, being really calm, well-mannered, and I'm going to let him know I appreciate that, good job. And I'm going to find as many opportunities as I can throughout the day to let him know, hey, I really like what you're doing, and I'm going to reward you for doing so. Right. However, at the end of the day, any food that's left then goes into his food bowl, and he can eat it like a traditional meal. Sometimes there isn't any left, but once the dog is settled and become an excellent canine companion, you don't have to do this every day. Maybe you just want to feed your dog 2 regular meals because you've got them to a place that you're happy with. That's brilliant, but never leave your dog's food down, ever, period, for the rest of their life. Use it as an opportunity to every single day build relationship built on your loving leadership. To do that, you fill the dog's bowl up, you put them into a sit and stay, you put the food on the floor, and you do not allow them to have that food until they're sat looking up to you for guidance and direction. When they're doing that and they're being calm and respectful, looking up to you for loving guidance and direction, you can simply then utilize break, and they can have access to their food. You can do that in the crate, you can do it in the kitchen. It doesn't really matter, but what is important is that food for a dog is usually the highest value resource in their life. If you guard the gateway to them accessing food through either working with you or through a simple drill of sit, stay, break, you are going to help your dog understand that the best thing in their life comes from you, and it comes through you. And for them to gain access to it, they simply need to be calm, well-mannered, look up to you for guidance and direction, and they can have it. Do that every day, and you'll be setting you and your dog up for wild amounts of success. The next thing I think you should be doing every single day with your dog, especially if you've just brought that dog into your home, is crate training. I truly, to my core, believe that every single dog on the planet should be at least crate trained. Once they're crate trained, you can then make the decision to slowly give them more freedom, providing that they don't start becoming reactive, anxious, or destroying your furniture or property. If they do any of those things, you can quickly bring them back into their crate. They're happy to be in their crate. Their crate is a safe place where they understand that they can settle, decompress, relax, and be happy. Provide that for your dog, and you will have a happier dog, and you will have a better behaved dog, simply by controlling their environment and giving them a safe space to decompress. And the next thing is exercise. Your dog has physical and mental exercise requirements. All dogs are different, but it doesn't change the fact that all dogs need to have those requirements for physical and mental exercise provided for them every single day. If you do that for your dog, tire your dog out, you will have a happier dog. A tired dog is also a more well-behaved dog. A tired dog is easier to train in most situations. A tired dog is easier to socialize in most situations. A tired dog is easier to teach things like manners, rules, boundaries, and expectations in most situations. And a tired dog will definitely settle down much easier in your home than a dog that hasn't had those needs met. To make sure that every single day you're giving your dog plenty of mental and physical exercise. And the last thing that you should be doing with your dog every day is obedience training. Yes, I'm a huge advocate for loving leadership, and I really enjoy very natural ways of living, communicating, and building relationship with dogs. But that does not mean that you shouldn't be working on your communication pathways with your dog every single day. In my opinion, to have a perfect canine companion that's safe and under control at all times, your dog should have a sit, it should have a stay, break, heel, recall, and place. If you can do that with your dog, you can have a wonderful dog no matter where you are. Even if you've got a dog like my mate here who's completely deaf. We can build those commands with hand signals to help him understand what it is that I want from him. And when he makes good decisions, I reward him for making those good decisions, and it allows us to build a relationship where he can trust me because he understands I'm going to communicate to him effectively and from a place of love. Not only what I do want, but also what I don't want. We make it crystal clear, no grey areas, and he's a happier dog because of it, because he has no anxiety and he has no fear around what he should do and when. In any given situation, he knows he simply needs to look up to me for guidance and direction, and with those fundamental basics of obedience, I can ask him what it is that I want from him and keep him safe, reliable, and under control at all times. So they're the things that I think you should absolutely be doing with your dog every single day if you want your dog to be a well-behaved, well-rounded, perfect canine companion. Now, if at any point you're like, how do I even do some of those things? I don't know where to start. Well, don't worry, because that's exactly what this channel is for. So simply subscribe to the channel. We make videos every single week explaining exactly how you can achieve the same amount of success yourself at home. So thank you so much for watching. Come and say hello over on Instagram, but I can't wait to see you on the next episode.
My mans, this was fun. How to start workout training. Let's see what else we got. Hey, this looks like it's gonna be good.
So you want to start lifting, but you are overwhelmed by all the information on the internet. By clicking on this video, you just made the best decision in your bodybuilding journey. I'm gonna take you through all the steps necessary to get you to start lifting. I will also cover the basics of nutrition and supplementation, and give you a full workout routine that you can follow. All of that without overwhelming you in the process. Everything will be extremely easy to understand, and it will get rid of all of your fears and uncertainties you might have. And I would advise you to not skip any part of this video, if you don't want to feel lost and confused once again. So, let's begin. The first step you have to take is to go to the gym. I know that you might feel self-conscious when you step into the gym full of big guys, but trust me, most of them are just gentle giants. No one will judge you because you are skinny or overweight. Everyone started somewhere. People will be more than happy to help you out if you ask them. Because that's somewhat of a compliment to them. Because you are asking them about what they know and what they are passionate about. And people love talking about stuff that they are passionate about. And one more thing that could also help you is to find a friend to go with. It can be a newbie like you or someone who has some experience under their belt, so they can guide you on your journey. Or if you have the money, just invest in a personal trainer. Or you can invest in my Patreon if you would like to get help from me personally and get access to more cool stuff, like the Simplified Hub, which has all the information about bodybuilding in a simple written form. Link in the description. Thanks! So you made it. You are now in the gym, feeling good, but you are not sure what exercises to pick, because you feel overwhelmed once again. The truth is, as a beginner, you need to focus on the basics. So now open your head and listen, okay? You don't need to do some exotic exercises that you saw on TikTok. You only need the basic exercises, that's all. Don't go into the comments trying to type some BS like, "Oh Winnie, but I have seen this guy on TikTok and he said it's a must to exercise."
Get up out of here.
Dude, shut up, alright? It's probably some guy with a dangling earring who just finished the 30-day trend challenge. So I wouldn't really be listening to what he has to say.
I completed the 30-day trend challenge and the results might just shock you. The challenge is simple. Take trend for 30 days and see how much progress you can actually make.
Alright, now that we got this out of the way, I can now show you a training plan that you can do, which focuses on the basics, which are going to be the important building blocks moving forward. Because as a matter of fact, all the fancy exercises are based on the most basic variation of the exercise. So if you were to start with all the fancy exercises instead of the basics, it would be just like building the roof of the house before you even built the foundation in the first place. So this is the routine. It's made of workout A and workout B. It's specifically made to teach you the basic movement patterns. If you are just starting out, run this program for at least 3 to 6 months. Once you master all the basics, you can slowly move to more advanced stuff like isolation exercises. Yes, this program has no isolation exercises. as I believe that if you are a complete beginner, there is no point in doing any isolation exercises, because you have no idea where the muscle you are isolating even is. So you would just end up doing some movements that are most likely not working the muscle that they are supposed to, nor teaching you how to target that muscle specifically. The only isolation exercise in this workout is the biceps curl, because I think that this is a movement pattern worth practicing. Plus, everyone wants to have a big biceps, so you can start building them right away. I knew that you would have added them to the workout anyway. I know how you think. I'm in your head. This workout I'm about to give you is a 4-day split, which consists of workout A and workout B. So the way you can schedule it can be, for example, like this. Or like this. Or in any other way you find convenient for you. And before you start the workout, warm up at least a little bit. I'm not forcing you to spend 15 minutes stretching. Just warm up the most important joints like shoulders, wrists, knees and hips. You don't need to do anything fancy. Just think of what you used to do in school in your PE classes. You're clever, you can figure it out. Alright, now that your body is warmed up, we can start with the workout A, where you do chest, shoulders, triceps and legs. You start out with bench press and then move on to the incline bench press. You can choose if you want to do them with dumbbells or a barbell, but I would recommend you to try both variations over time. For both bench press and incline bench press, you want to do 3 sets of 10 reps. This was the chest focused part. Now let's move on to the shoulders. For shoulders, you will do overhead press. 4 sets of 8 reps. Here the same thing applies. You can choose between dumbbells or a barbell. And also if you want to perform the exercise sitting or standing. And as I said before, start out with the variation you like more. But over time, definitely try all the variations so you can figure out which one is the best for you. But don't jump from variation to variation. Stick to one variation for a longer time. And to finish this workout off, you will do squats. So do 4 sets of 8 reps. Whoa, slow down. I hear you. Where are the triceps exercises, you ask? Well, all the pushing exercises you did also stimulated your triceps. So this was more than enough work for your triceps. You don't need any isolation exercises for now. So this was the workout A. Now let me show you the workout B. This workout focuses on your back, biceps and legs. You start out with pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups just yet, do some version of assisted pull-ups. Either using a band or let someone hold your legs. Or just do negatives, which means that you jump up on the bar into the top position and then slowly lower yourself down. Or you can just start with the lat pull down machine. And then you move on to the barbell row. For both of these exercises, do 3 sets of 10 reps. And next up we have the deadlift. Do 4 sets of 8 reps. And if you are really struggling with the deadlift, you can start just by lifting the empty bar. Don't be ashamed, no one is going to judge you. It's better to leave your ego at the door and master the technique properly than try to lift something that you can't and injuring yourself in the process. And to finish off this workout, we got a biceps exercise. I would recommend just the most basic curl variation, either with dumbbells or a barbell. 3 sets of 10 reps. Really focus on the technique, no swinging around. Be mindful of what you are doing. So this was the workout B. And one more thing that will help you to master the technique of all the exercises is to record your sets. Sometimes you think that you are doing the exercise properly, but when you look at the video of that set, you will see that it really wasn't the case. And no, it's not weird to take videos of your sets. Most of the people don't care what other people are doing, if it's not harming them in some way. You think that someone comes home in the evening and is like, "Dude, today I saw a guy at the gym recording his sets, lol. I was thinking about it the whole day."
Right, slap.
People have enough of their own problems, so don't worry about others. If you follow this program exactly while applying progressive overload, you will learn all the basics while gaining a lot of muscle. Oh, you are not sure what progressive overload is? It basically means gradually increasing the difficulty of the exercise that you are doing. So try to consistently add more weight to the bar every week. That is what is the main driver of muscle growth. And if you would like to learn more about progressive overload, click in the top right now. And also, don't forget to track your workouts. You can use the notepad in your phone or use a tracking app. Or just write it down on paper. You want to keep track of how many sets and reps you did and how much weight you used. so you can try to beat your previous record in your next workout. That's how you can easily make sure that you are constantly progressively overloading. So now that you are comfortable at the gym and you know what training plan to do, the last two things that you might still be overwhelmed by are nutrition and supplementation.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with nutrition. You for sure heard about all the macros and micros and all the other stuff that just makes your head spin. The only macro you need to care about is protein. Consume 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. You want to spread that protein intake relatively evenly between like 3 to 5 meals per day. You don't need to eat 8 meals per day. That's nonsense. Being between 3 to 5 meals is the sweet spot. And don't worry, you can eat way more protein than this. And you will still be completely fine. Now let me tell you something about calories. If you are skinny, you need to bulk up. To bulk up, you need to stay in a calorie surplus. And if you want to cut, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So the first thing you need to do is to find your maintenance calories. You can do this easily by typing TDEE calculator in your browser. And after you enter your age, weight, height and your activity level, it will give you your estimated maintenance calories. And you can even click on the cutting/bulking icons and it will tell you how many calories you should eat to achieve that goal. Plus, it will also give you a macronutrient breakdown, but as I said, you don't need to worry about that. Just focus on getting enough protein. That's the only thing that matters. The next question is, should you cut if you are overweight? I would say that you don't even need to cut if you aren't like extremely obese. I would recommend you to stay in a slightly overweight state, as you will be able to put on more muscle and you can cut down later when you gain more experience over the time. And if you are a skinny fat, I would also recommend you to bulk up a little bit. Because if you were to just cut, you would end up like a skeleton, because you have no muscle to show. And building muscle is way harder when you are skinny. So don't forget to eat your food. Now let me tell you something about supplements. If you want to take any supplements, the only ones I would recommend are protein powder and creatine. I wouldn't even recommend buying BCAAs or EAAs, as they are definitely not needed. They are just a cherry on top. Protein powder is a great supplement if you are not getting enough protein in your diet, and it's also very useful for making various high protein recipes. But it's definitely not needed if your diet is on point. And creatine is very cheap, so if you want to get a nice little boost, this would be the choice. Consume 5 grams every day. And don't start with the, am I gonna lose my hair? Just take your 5 grams and don't overwhelm yourself with stuff that doesn't matter. And because you made it all the way here, I will show you this visual representation of how things impact your muscle gain. If this video didn't get rid of all of your fear and confusion yet, then this will. As you can see, by covering all the basics, consuming enough protein and sleeping well, you just covered everything that you need to. Just by doing these simple and basic things. The rest are just the smallest things imaginable that are just simply not necessary if you are relatively new to the gym or if you are not a competitive bodybuilder. Always remember that after a certain point, the effort you put into something is just so high and the outcome so small that it's most likely not worth approaching, if it's not something that your life depends on. If you are a heart surgeon, of course you gotta learn even about the rarest heart diseases you might only encounter once in your life. But if you are a gym bro, wondering about if you should take 6 grams of creatine instead of 5, does that really matter? Is the potential 0.01% increase worth all the stress and time you put into it? Definitely not. So I guess it's not only a bodybuilding lesson, but also a life lesson of some sort. So I hope I got rid of all of your fears and uncertainties and that you now don't feel overwhelmed anymore. If you are a beginner and you still have some questions, ask them in the comments below. I will be more than happy to answer all of them. Thank you for watching this whole video. And if you got a friend who wants to start going to the gym, please send them this video. Thanks!
Did I like it? Hold on.
So you want to start lifting, but you are overwhelmed by all the information.
We're gonna get some more videos from him. Alright, we want a shorter video on this one. Alright.
Welcome back. My name is Dr. Carl Baird, and today I'll be showing you how to get started with strength training with 5 movements that are safe, effective, and help you build full body strength to protect your joints and maintain your lifestyle as you get older. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the first movements that you want to learn as you get started strength training is called the hip hinge. Not only is this a great strength exercise in itself, but it's what we call a foundational movement, meaning so many other strength exercises are built off this. So if you can understand this movement, you can do a lot more in the strength training world. So I'll go ahead and do a quick demonstration, then just show you a few things to watch out for. So the hip hinge simply looks like this, where I'm sending my hips back towards the opposite wall and stopping when I feel tension in my hamstrings and coming back up. So again, the things that you want to look out for. One, that movement is reaching the hips backwards. So I'm not bending forward at the hips here. I'm really reaching my hips towards the back wall. And second, when to stop. So you want to stop when you feel this tension in the hamstrings. I don't want to go too low as I start to round my low back, and that's going to cause problems. So the hip hinge is exercise number one. The second exercise you're going to want to learn is the squat. So the squat is another full body strengthening exercise that also helps improve important movement patterns that protect your joints as you go throughout the day and actually improve flexibility and mobility of different joints, including your ankles and your hips, which are where we want to focus a lot of our effort on. So I'll do another quick demonstration. It's as simple as finding your right squat stance, sending the hips back, coming down. I teach people to stop when their thighs get parallel, especially if you're brand new to the strength training world, and back up. So a few things to pay attention to. First is your stance. Now the stance is a complicated topic because everybody's going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be up to you to experiment and just feel what feels most natural for you. And second, just make sure that that first movement is sending the hips back and then bringing the hips down here. This is going to be the safest on your joints, which is what's really important if you're just getting started in the strength training world. The third strength exercise to learn when you're just getting started is the lunge and all the different variations. This is what we call a functional movement, meaning it helps you build strength in activities that you use throughout the day, not just in the strength training world. So walking, running, climbing upstairs, hiking, things you like to do every day. Building strength in this movement is going to help you continue to do those things. So I always start people with the reverse lunge, not because there's anything wrong with the forward lunge, but the reverse lunge is a little bit safer on your joints. It's a little bit easier to control. So if you're new to strength training, it's where I like to have people start. So it's as simple as taking a step back and then dropping that back leg until the knee hits the floor, just tapping, and then pressing through this front leg to step back up. Same thing on the other side. Step back, drop the knee, press through this leg, and back up. The next exercise is the kettlebell deadlift. So the deadlift is another important movement pattern that can help protect your joints as you move throughout your day. Right. This particular variation really targets your glutes and hamstrings, which is really important for protecting your back, your hips, your knees, your ankles. And it's just a great way to build full body strength. So to perform, I like to start people using a kettlebell. They're a little bit easier to control versus, say, a barbell. And all you're going to need to do is line your feet up with the kettlebell, and you're going to use that hip hinge that we did in exercise one. Remember, I said that's a foundational movement that we use in a lot of these other movements. This is what I'm talking about. So we start by sending your hips back. Once you feel that tension in the hamstrings, then you can bend your knees to get down to that kettlebell. So at the bottom here, I'm going to drop my hips, lift my chest, press through the feet to get that weight up. And then on the way down, it's the same thing. I'm going to start with the hip hinge. Once I can't go any lower, bend the knees to set it down. There you have it. That's the kettlebell deadlift. And the last exercise to learn as you're just getting started with strength training are weighted carries. So this is a great full body functional core exercise that really strengthens the whole body to protect your joints. It's as simple as picking up something heavy and walking around with it. So here I have 2 dumbbells. What I'm going to do is do a light grip on the dumbbells just to create tension up the arm. I'm going to roll my shoulders back, and then I'm just going to walk slow and controlled forward, and then you would turn around and go back. You just really want to make sure that upper body stays nice and strong, so when you're walking, it's not kind of this uncontrolled waddle walk. If you don't have two weights, you can also just do it with a single weight. This is called a suitcase carry, same thing. Make sure your trunk stays nice and in line, you're not leaning to one side or leaning off to the other side. But these weighted carries are really great beginning strength exercises that are safe and help you build full body strength. So there you have it, 5 of the safest, most effective full body strengthening exercises to help you build strength without stressing your joints so that you can maintain your lifestyle as you get older. What I love about these exercises is there's a lot of different variations depending on your ability level. So if you can master these beginning ones, there's ways to build on top of that, of each exercise without changing too much so that you can continue to build strength, get stronger, build more confidence, and feel better as you get older. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, it's Dr. Baird here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page to catch all our videos.
I gotta watch one more. I gotta find one more thing. There we go. We're gonna get the first one we see.
Mixed martial arts. MMA has a history that dates back to ancient civilizations, with the modern sport emerging in the early 1990s through the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the United States. The UFC was found to answer the long-debated question, which martial art is the best? Later on, fighters in the UFC were forced to adapt to be able to fight with martial artists all over the world, and developed their own styles, all while respecting UFC rules like no 12-6 vertical, karate elbow strikes, or kneeing kicking an opponent that is on the ground. MMA combines the best techniques from various martial arts, including boxing, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Judo, their own styles, all while respecting UFC rules like no 12-6 vertical, karate, now part of Japan, with influences from China. Karate. Karate originated in the Ryukyu Kingdom, now part of Japan, with influences from Chinese Kung Fu. Although karate has various different styles, many of them include striking techniques such as punching, kicking, knee strikes, and elbow strikes, along with open hand techniques like knife hands. The philosophy behind karate involves not only physical training, but also a focus on mental discipline and moral character. Practitioners learn formally fix, along with open hand techniques like knife hands. The philosophy behind karate involves not only physical training, but also a focus on mental discipline and moral character. Practitioners learn forms, sparring, and self-defense, aiming to develop a character of self-control and respect. It uses the classic belt system that goes from white to black. Taekwondo. Taekwondo is a Korean martial art famous for its focus on high kicks and fast kicks. Just like karate, Taekwondo also aims to unite body, mind, and life, and in doing so, to promote peace. Taekwondo is mainly recognized for its head height kicks, jumping spinning kicks, and fast kicking techniques that are often used by movie actors because of its flashy style. Although it usually only consists of kicks, it became an Olympic sport in 2000, showcasing its global popularity and the athleticism required to perform its dynamic techniques. Aikido. Developed in the early 20th century in Japan, its name means the way of harmony with the spirit, and it focuses on using an opponent's momentum and movements against them. Practitioners redirect attacks rather than confronting them with force. Aikido techniques include throws, joint locks, and control over aggression. It is now practiced in over 140 countries. Aikido also separates itself from other striking arts by allowing its practitioners to wear baggy clothes to practice throws that require a grip on the opponent's clothes. Muay Thai. Muay Thai, known as the art of 8 limbs, utilizes fists by allowing its practitioners to wear baggy clothes to practice throws that require a grip on the opponent's clothes. Muay Thai. Muay Thai, known as the art of 8 limbs, utilizes fists, elbows, knees, and shins for striking, making it a feared and brutal stand-up fighting technique. Originating from Thailand, it has deep historical and cultural significance. Muay Thai training includes heavy physical conditioning, such as hitting the bones with hard sticks, mental discipline, and most importantly, respect for other fighters. The fights end with 2 fighters bowing and kneeling to each other, showing their respect no matter who is the winner. It is usually possible to see bracelets on fighters' arms, which is a tradition that comes from Thailand. Judo. Judo focuses on throws and ground techniques, including pins, joint locks, and chokes. Developed by Jigoro Kano in Japan, it emphasizes the principle of maximum efficiency, minimum effort. It is often seen as the standing jujutsu, since it uses Brazilian jiu-jitsu's principles in stand-up fighting. Judo is both a competitive sport and a means of self-defense, teaching practitioners to use leverage and balance to defeat stronger opponents. It also involves training with baggy clothes, just like Aikido. Jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu focuses on close combat, unarmed or with a minor weapon, and its core philosophy is to manipulate the opponent's force against themselves, rather than confronting it with one's own force. For this reason, its name means yielding art. It was developed to combat the samurai of feudal Japan, since there was a need to fight against armed and armored opponents without having weapons or just using short ones. Since striking against an armored opponent is ineffective, they noticed that the most effective way of neutralizing an armored enemy is through pins, joint locks, and throws, just like in Judo, but using the attacker's energy against himself instead of directly opposing it. Jiu-jitsu students are sometimes taught potentially fatal or crippling moves such as joint locking throws and break-falling skills to allow them to practice dangerous throws more safely in non-competitive settings. Judo actually comes from Jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specializes in ground fighting and grappling. The fights usually start from the ground, unlike many martial arts, with a focus on gaining a dominant position to force an opponent to submit via joint locks or chokeholds. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was first developed by a Brazilian family. After the family was taught a hybrid of traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Kodokan Judo by a traveling Japanese judoka, the family developed their own self-defense system called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which kept evolving through generations, becoming what we know today. What makes this form unique is the fact that it uses opponents' own strength and weight against them, allowing smaller fighters to take down bigger opponents, which is very rare in martial arts. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became famous for its effectiveness in mixed martial arts. Kung Fu. Kung Fu is a collective term for the various schools of Chinese martial arts, showcasing a rich variety of techniques and philosophies. Its origins stretch back to ancient China, making it one of the oldest martial arts. It was developed not just as a form of combat, but also as a means of spiritual growth. Some styles mimic the movements of animals, while others are inspired by Chinese philosophical concepts or historical figures. It includes dance-like movements and training with traditional weapons, while the fighters wear traditional baggy Kung Fu clothes that are similar to Aikido. Krav Maga. Krav Maga is a practical self-defense system developed for the Israeli military, focusing on efficiency and instinctive movements. Designed for real-world situations, it combines techniques from boxing, wrestling, aikido, judo, and karate, and uses moves that would be considered illegal, like eye pokes or biting. Practitioners learn to defend against various attacks, including grabs, strikes, and weapons, focusing on neutralizing threats quickly and effectively, such as knife and gun disarms. Because of the obvious dangers, there are no Krav Maga competitions. It is said that for a competition, you need rules, and when you have rules, it is no longer Krav Maga. Training focuses on awareness, aggression, and preparing individuals for the unpredictability of war. Capoeira. Capoeira is an Afro-Brazilian martial art for the unpredictability of war. Capoeira. Capoeira is an Afro-Brazilian martial art that combines elements of dance, acrobatics, and music. Developed by African slaves in Brazil, it was disguised as a dance to allow practice without detection by slave owners. Capoeira is known for its quick and complex maneuvers, predominantly using power, speed, and leverage for a wide variety of kicks, spins, and other techniques. Training promotes physical fitness, rhythm, and creativity, embodying a rich cultural heritage. It is one of the most interesting martial arts out there. Wing Chun. Wing Chun is a style of Kung Fu known for close-range combat and very quick punches. Developed in southern China, its techniques focus on efficiency and simplicity. Practitioners utilize stance and structure to generate power, aiming to control the center line, the most direct route to an opponent. Wing Chun's rapid punches and close-range attacks make it effective for self-defense in tight spaces. Boxing. Boxing, often called the sweet science or the art of hitting and not getting hit, is a combat sport focusing on punch combinations, footwork, and head movement. Originating from ancient civilizations, it evolved into the modern sport known today, governed by the Marquis of Queensberry rules. Training includes sparring, heavy bag work, and various drills. Because it is so famous, it is known to be the best-paying martial art, often allowing good boxers to earn big percentages of money where other martial artists would have only made a little amount, allowing a decent boxer to live off only from their boxing income. Kickboxing. Kickboxing originated in the mid-20th century, combining elements of traditional karate with Western boxing to create a dynamic striking martial art. It was developed as practitioners from different martial backgrounds sought to compete under common rules, allowing punches, kicks, knees, and occasionally elbows, and it is usually considered boxing with kicks, just like its name suggests. Sambo. Sambo is a Soviet-developed combat sport and martial art that includes judo, wrestling, and traditional Russian fighting techniques, aiming at both self-defense and sports competition. Practitioners master throws like Aikido, joint locks like Jujutsu, and ground control tactics like wrestling. Sambo emphasizes quick transitions from standing to ground positions, preparing competitors for versatile and dynamic encounters. Combat Sambo, another style of Sambo, allows regular punches, kicks, elbows, and knees, as well as soccer kicks, headbutts, and groin strikes, except for standing or flying wrist bars. Silat. Silat refers to a class of martial arts from Southeast Asia, particularly Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, known for its fluid movements and incorporation of weapons and animal-inspired techniques. Training includes strikes, grappling, and weaponry, reflecting the rich cultural traditions of the region. Silat practitioners, or pesilat, learn to blend offensive and defensive maneuvers seamlessly, often within dance-like forms that disguise the martial aspect of their movements. Tai Chi. Tai Chi, often spelled Tai Chi, is a Chinese martial art practiced for health benefits. It uses slow, flowing movements and deep breathing, promoting calmness, balance, and flexibility. Originally conceived as a fighting form, its techniques include push hands and combat applications. However, many practice it today as a means of stress reduction and exercise, focusing on the harmonious circulation of internal energy. Savate. Savate, also known as French boxing, is a martial art that combines elements of Western boxing with graceful kicking techniques, very similar to kickboxing and Muay Thai. However, savate kicks must strike with the shoe, and in this regard, it differs from Thai boxing and kickboxing, which use the shin and swing the leg in a different manner. Originating in France, practitioners called saboteurs wear specially designed shoes and engage in a sport that prizes precision and agility. Techniques include a variety of kicks, punches, and combinations, usually developed from street fighting skills. Savate training emphasizes mobility, accuracy, and tactical finesse. Eskrima. Eskrima, also known as arnis or kali, is a Filipino martial art famed for its weapon-based fighting, particularly sticks, knives, and other bladed instruments. It also includes hand-to-hand combat, joint locks, grappling, and weapon disarming techniques. Training often begins with weapons to build coordination and flow, which are then applied to unarmed combat. Kyokushin Karate. Kyokushin Karate is known for its rigorous training and full-contact sparring. Masutatsu Oyama was the founder of the Kyokushin system of martial arts. After studying several martial arts styles, he found that none offered what he felt was the true way. He began practicing alone and developed his own training, fighting methods, and philosophy. Because Oyama's technique was so powerful and realistic, he gained widespread recognition in Japan, and soon a huge following of would-be students around the world wanted to follow what they coined the strongest karate. Masoyama named his system Kyokushin, which translates to the true way or the ultimate truth. Wushu. Wushu, or modern Chinese martial arts, showcases fluid, acrobatic movements with traditional Chinese weapons and barehanded techniques. It is both a full...
Now, some of these I've never heard of, but obviously, you know, like kickboxing, capoeira, heard of those. But I'm interested in the fact that once you learn maybe one of the fundamentals of one of them, how you can develop your own style anyway.
Full contact sport and a performance art, since practitioners, known as wushu athletes, train in various styles that mimic animal movements or are inspired by Chinese folklore and history. Wushu competitions feature choreographed routines judged on technique, execution, and artistic expression, similar to gymnastics. Wrestling. Wrestling, with origins tracing back to ancient civilizations like Egypt and Greece, is among the oldest recorded forms of combat. It focuses on grappling techniques such as clinch fighting, throws, takedowns, and pinning an opponent. It has evolved into various styles globally, including Olympic sports like Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling, and numerous folk styles unique to different cultures like Turkish oil wrestling. The fighters aim to outmaneuver opponents through superior positioning and leverage. Wrestling's long history showcases its fundamental role in human competitive spirit and physical conditioning. Taekyeon. Taekyeon is a traditional Korean martial art, recognized for its fluid and dynamic movements that emphasize natural flow and rhythm. It is thought to have been developed during the Joseon dynasty. It stands out for its softness and the use of circular movements, making extensive use of the legs for kicks and trips, along with unique hand techniques. The art is also noted for its pumbalji stepping technique, which ensures continuous motion and balance. Taekyeon, a cultural treasure, stresses harmony between mind, body, and spirit, embodying a deep philosophical foundation. Systema. Systema, meaning the system in Russian, has its roots in the Russian military and has been changed over centuries. This martial art is known for its emphasis on biomechanical efficiency, flexibility, and the body's natural movements. Systema covers striking, grappling, weapon defense, and employs breathing techniques, and most importantly, dirty moves like eye poking or biting. Although it is very similar to Krav Maga, both of which were developed by militaries, Systema separates itself by focusing on relaxation and breathing correctly to control energy consumption as much as possible, where controlling energy consumption is especially important in intense and long situations like war. It is known to be deeply influenced by Russian Orthodox Christian principles. Mixed martial arts. MMA has a history that dates back to ancient civilizations, with the modern sport emerging in the early 1990s through the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the United States. The UFC was found to answer the long-debated question, which martial art is the best? Later on, fighters in the UFC were forced to adapt to be able to fight with martial artists all over the world, and developed their own styles, all while respecting UFC rules like no 12-6 vertical, karate elbow strikes, or kneeing kicking an opponent that is on the ground. MMA combines the best techniques from various martial arts, including boxing, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Judo, challenging fighters to be proficient across multiple combat ranges. It is usually considered the ultimate martial art for self-defense and street fighting. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord. Link in the description.
All right, y'all. That was the last thing I wanted to watch. We're going to go ahead and get on up out of here for the day.
Ever watch a project fall apart like dominoes?
On this Friday, I ain't gonna hold y'all no more. It's been a good week. The days that I was here, we learned a lot. We did a lot, as usual. And I'll be back next week. Check me out on the Twitch. I'm gonna be on my either on my Twitch or on my TikTok or my Facebook. I'm gonna be streaming this weekend. I'll be playing a lot more. So y'all check me out. I was just testing out some stuff on my builds. And I'm up out of here. Peace. Until next week. Next week. All right. Peace. This is DGTA TV.
Many people give up on the life they want to live just because of the need to fit in. Fit in with parents. Fit in with friends. Fit in with society. Too afraid to dream of how great life can be because life and others have offered plenty of examples of what can go wrong. Plenty of examples of how hard life is, how much of a struggle life is. Well, I don't buy that. I believe everyone is capable of creating the life they want. I refuse to believe we are stuck. I refuse to believe in limitation.
We are capable of anything, only if we believe that. Because with belief comes action. With belief comes possibilities. With belief, we are open to opportunities.
When we refuse to give up on our dream, when we seek to find examples of those who have achieved the life they want, when we want to learn how we can make steps forward every day, when we are open to learn more, when we are willing to work for it, when we trust our intuition and follow our hearts, when we have the courage to trust the universe and reach for the sky, well, then anything is possible.
If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, there's no doubt you can be it. Believe in yourself. Shakespeare said, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt.
Hey, what's up? Oh, yeah.
See, most people fear failure so much they don't even try.
Hey, we in here. What's up? Oh, getting motivated, getting ourselves right for the day. Hey, I hope you get a chance to stick around for this episode. It's sure to be interesting. I promise you.
Therefore, they fail by default. Achieving anything of significance in life will never be easy. But the only way you can guarantee not achieving anything is if you never try in the first place.
You do not know what is going to happen in the future.